Okay? So we're going to solve this. And I notice, the first thing I notice is that the exponent, guys, the exponent is in the, or the variable is in the exponent. What does that mean? That means I need logarithms. Now, there's an e in this problem, so I'm going to ln both sides. And when I ln both sides, this cancels, and I'm left with 3x minus 1 equal to ln 5.
Why is there a star after
Because that means you can use a calculator on it. Now, none of the problems, up till this point, this is the first problem that you will have a calculator for. Now, I'm going to solve for x. So I'll add 1 and divide by 3. Then I'll go to my calculator. It's pretty easy. I will type ln 5, remembering to close the parentheses, plus 1. Then I'll hit equals, divided by 3. And my answer is 0.8698. So if we type exactly what Mrs. Ford says, we'll get the right answer. It's when we freelance that we miss it. ln 5, close the parentheses, plus 1 equals, divided by 3.
I closed the parentheses right then.
Plus 1 equals, divided by 3. To the nearest dollar, how much would you have if you invested $12,000 at 3.5% interest compounded weekly? A equals P, 1 plus R over N to the NT. What do I put in for A? Nothing, I need that. P is 12,000. R is 0.035. N is 52. Raised, how did I get 520 up there for my exponent?
Times 10.
Yep, it's 52 times 10, because the problem says 10 years, right? Now, am I going to need logarithms for this one?
No.
Nope. I'm going to start right here. I'm going to type in that stuff. 1 plus 0.035 divided by 52 equals. Then I'm going to raise it to the 520th power. And then I'm going to times it by 12,000. $17,026. Does it say to the nearest dollar?
Yeah.
Then it'd be $27. To the nearest dollar, because it was 80 cents. So that would round up to the next dollar. Here's another one. Find the growth constant for a strain of bacteria in which a population, this goes to PERT, very good. Now what's going to go where? 386 is P. 1025 is A. Don't know what R is, but T is 3.8. Got to use those logarithms, but not until you do what first? Divide. 1025 over 386 equals e to the 3.8r power. I am not scared of this equation. All I need to do now is take the natural logarithm of both sides. So ln 1025 over 386 equals ln e to the 3.8r. Now what happens over here? They cancel. So I have ln, this big fraction, equal to 3.8r. So to get my answer, all I need to do is take ln that fraction, right? And do what with it? Divide it by 3.8. and I got R equal to 0.257, which if you want, you can answer that as a percentage. You could say 25.7, or you are welcome to leave it as 0.257. Number 25, if you can't do this, I am personally going to, I don't know, inflict some kind of bodily harm on you. This is write the equation of a line. What does it take to write the equation of a line? A slope and a point, that's right, that's all I need. So first I have to find my slope. Slope equals 11 minus 1 over 3 minus negative 2. That's 10 over 5, which is 2. Now, it doesn't matter what format you like to write your lines. You can do it either way. So how do you guys want to do it? Y equals mx plus b. Adam spoke first, so we're using his strategy. There are other ways to do it. Feel free to do it your other way. Here we go. Which point do you want to use, Adam? I only need one.
-2, 1.
Okay, he wants to use the one with a negative in it. But we will. So 1 equals 2 times -2 plus b. The biggest mistake that's made is kids put the wrong number in the wrong spot. X goes in X is -2, Y is 1. So 1 equals -4 plus b, which means b equals 5. So the equation of your line is y equals 2x plus 5. Simplify. This is another wussy problem. Everybody gets this one right. What do you think you're supposed to do? Just FOIL. Yeah, distribute it. FOIL it. So we end up with 12 plus 6i minus 4i minus 2i squared. Now here's the tricky part. What does I squared equal? -1. So a negative 2i squared is really just a plus 2. So we have 12 plus 6i minus 4i plus 2. Let's collect like terms. 14 plus 2i. Now we've got a real life problem. We want to find the final cost of an item if there's a 20% discount and a 7% tax. And we are starting with $32.50. Now, you're going to multiply $32.50 by something.
0.80.
You're going to start with the discount. Very good, Jack. You're going to multiply it by 0.80. Why? Because it's going down 20%. 1 minus 20%. Then we're going to multiply it by 1.07. Perfect. That one is 1 plus 7% because the tax adds on. Discounts are 1 minus, add-ons are 1 plus. Then you just take out your trusty calculator and you just type all three of those numbers together. So 32.5 times 0.8 times 1.07. Your final cost is $27.82. Easy peasy. All right, number 28. We got to solve this thing. Okay? So we have x squared minus 6x minus 7, and we're going to solve it. Maya says step 1 is just like it's been in several of our problems. We're going to factor it. So when I factor that, how does it factor? Yep, minus 7 plus 1. Then I'd draw my handy dandy number line. And I put 2 dots on my number line, and they will be open dots. Where will the open dots be?
-1, 7.
-1 and 7. Make sure you put them on in that order. Now, what does greater than 0 mean? Positive. So I want to pick numbers here that are going to make this thing positive. Now, can I do my alternating thing? Yes. So that might save me some time. So what number do you want to pick? 0. Great choice. 0 is in here. If I put 0 in, I would get a negative number times a positive number. Does that give me a positive answer? No. So this section doesn't work. What does that mean about this section? It does and it does. So my answer is everything less than -1 or greater than 7. Right? Number 29, a good old mixture problem. What's our general formula for a mixture? Amount times percent plus amount times percent equals amount times percent. So here we go. What are we mixing together? We're mixing together 15% orange juice, notice 0.15, and 20% orange juice. And we are going to end up with 16%. So is everybody okay with where I put numbers so far? Now let's fill in any amounts. How much? Well, that sounds like X to me, right? Should be mixed with 18 gallons. So how much am I going to have? If I mix X and 18, I'm going to have X plus 18, all right? Think about it. You dump in X and you dump in 18, you're going to have X plus 18. All right, so 0.15X plus, okay, here we go, 18 times 0.2, 3.6. And distribute over here, so 0.16. Times 18, 2.88. So I'll subtract the 0.15. Now be really careful here. I can see mistakes happening. This is going to be 0.01x. Don't say 1. It's 0.01. Everybody see that? Now I'll subtract the 2.88. And remember, this has a star by it, so you're allowed to be using a calculator. .72. Then I'll divide by 0.01, and I got 72 gallons. Number 30. We just did this too, didn't we? Alrighty, dighty. Here we go. Start. How? Square everything. Now remember, you don't have to start that way, but that's a good way to start. So that'll give me 9 and 16. Let's just start this way. Does that make sense to you, Katie?
Yeah, this is what I do.
Okay. So then we multiply these exponents, so it would be x to the -6th, y to the 14th, z to the -4th, and then x to the 10th, y to the 4th, z to the -10th. Now I'm going to move everything that's negative. Is that okay with you? These negatives are making me crazy. I need to get rid of them. And when I say I'm going to move them, I'm going to take any negative that's on top and it's moving to the bottom. and any negative that's on the bottom is moving to the top, right? So here we go. The 9 and the 16 do not move. See this guy? He's going down. But wait a minute, there's already 10 of them down there. So what happens when I drop these 6 on top of this 10? I'm going to have 16 of them down there. Now, this one's tricky because this is going up and this one, though, is coming down. So I'm going to have 10 Z's on the top and 4 Z's on the bottom. Would you agree with that? Now look at that. Who has more? The top. How many more? So I got Z to the 6th on the top. Now I have taken care of everything except my Y's. I've got 14 Y's on the top and 4 on the bottom. Who has more? How many more? There's your answer. That was not hard. It looked hard, but it wasn't. Properties, here we go. Name the property. That's commutative of addition. Somebody said it. Whoever said it was right. Was that you, Adam Neal? You're my hero. Commutative of addition. Next one's distributive. Very good, Kieran. You too are a hero.
Zero.
Additive identity. Katie Baumgartner's a hero. One more person gets
Associative.
Associative. Jack Green. Associative of addition. Associative of addition. Oh no.
Do we have one more page?
Yep. And look at it though. What is it?
The easiest things in the world.
It is the box problem.
I don't remember.
The who?
Now, we spent a lot of time on boxes and we pretty much got it all figured out. So let's see what we've got. We have a piece of paper drawn for you down at the bottom that's 11 by 15, and I'm cutting corners out so that I can fold up the flaps and make a box. Remember that? I just need to know how big these flaps need to be. Okay? Now, write an expression for the volume of the box. So we remember that volume is length times width times height. That's volume, right? Now length. Remember, the original box was, or paper I mean, the original paper was 15. 15 minus 2x. Come on, tell me you remember this, guys. 15 minus 2x. We cut an x off the top and an x off the bottom. What's the width? 11 minus 2x. And the height is x. Because, think about folding out. Remember, you all made a box. We made them. When you fold this flap up, this is how tall that's going to be when you fold it up. It's going to be x tall when you fold it up. Now, on your exam, there will be a question like this. But the paper won't be 15 by 11. It might be, I'm making this up, I have no idea. It might be 18 by 20. Right? So then what's your equation? 18 minus 2x times 20 minus 2x times x. They're all the same.
I'm just gonna post a note. I'm gonna take this part.
Now, what is the domain? We talked about this.
Oh, it's a 15 over 11? Or 11?
No, but it uses one of those numbers. Which number does it use?
11.
It uses 11. But the domain isn't 0 to 11. The domain is 0 to 5.5 because we take half the smallest dimension. Think about it, Troy. This is 11 wide. I'm going to take a chunk off this side and a chunk off this side. Right?
Yeah.
If there's only 11 units, inches, or something to start with, what's the most I can take off each side? Half of that. right? You can't take, if you only have 11, you can't take 6 inches off this side and 6 inches off this side. There's not enough. So you take 5.5, 5.5. That's the most you can take. So your x's are somewhere between 0 and 5.5. So where did this 5.5 come from? Half the smallest dimension. So if this is my paper, then my domain would be between 0 and 9. You can't miss that. They're all the same. Now we're going to graph this equation in our calculator. Okay, now you don't have to multiply it out. You can just graph that. Now let's get it set up right first of all. Go to your window. See this? That's x min and max. That's x right there. You've already got it. So x min is 0. X max is 5.5. If I were doing this problem, x min would be 0. X max would be 9. Y min is always 0 because your volume has to be positive. So y min is 0. Y max, do you remember this? We take a guess. So pick some big number, like 100? I don't think that's big enough, but we'll try it. Now, my window is set up. Now go to y equals and type in this equation exactly like I wrote it. If you type exactly what I wrote, it will be good. Parentheses, 15 minus 2x. Remember where the x key is? It's up, excuse me, it's up under your mode key. Times 11 minus 2x times x. Now hit graph. Now, do you remember what you need to see when you hit graph?
Where it goes down.
You need to see the top. Now, this is what I see. I see it going up, and I see it coming down. But I don't see the point that I need. So I'm going to go back to my window, and where I put in 100 before, I'm going to try 200.
Do you have number 2 good?
What? Well, then it would just, you just have a flat line. You wouldn't see the hill. Okay, so now I see a perfect picture. Now I see what I want. It looks like this now, right? That's what I see. That's what I want. This is the point I'm looking for because it says I want to maximize. Part D says maximize. Okay? So I go to second calc. Remember doing this?
Yeah.
Then I click down to maximum. Then, did your cursor come on? You see that little flashing thing? Move it over here somewhere. So just move him over. Anywhere, just so it's somewhere to the left of this point. Press enter. Then move him over here so he's to the right. Press enter. And then move him up to the top of the hill. Press enter. I got 2.091 and 154.226. Now let's answer the question. Find, I'm looking at D. To the nearest hundredth, find X, which maximizes the volume of the box. So, of these two numbers, which one am I going to pick? This one. This is X. This is Y. It says find X. So my answer would be 2.09 because it told me to round off to the nearest hundredth.
Wait, so for C, do we put in what you put in the window?
Yep. And ultimately we went with 200.